Welcome to the Misfit One Lifestyles with Elizabeth Colin. She will awaken and connect with your Misfit One. Are you tired of the ups and downs in your life? Are you ready to live a healthy lifestyle once and for all? We are talking about all aspects of your life. Being fit is not just physical, it's also your mind and soul. Learn how to take steps in your life to move towards your goals. Elizabeth's goal is for everyone listening to the sound of her voice to get fit. Let's get focused, let's get intentional, and let's transform. Now here's your host, Elizabeth Colin.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Misfit One Lifestyles with your host, Elizabeth Colin, also known as Misfit One. Listen, I want y'all to get ready for this conversation because it affects us all. I don't care if you big, small, old or young, relationships, strategies are always helpful. And so we have the beautiful Banana. No, you know I was going to say it, Bonika Wilson. How you doing, girlfriend?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me today.
Bonika, you know I had to say it. I had to say it because we you know, it's the inside joke, guys. You'll figure it out. But what's fun is, listen, this woman is so phenomenal at what she does. Is she'll take, you know, she's a relationship strategist. Right? And for those of you who do not know what that is, she'll tell you. Talk to the people.
So a relationship strategist, I'm still trying to figure that out myself, but I think what it is, it's really just trying to approach relationships from a strategic standpoint. So I have over 25 years of business consulting experience, and what I decided to do is really focus on using strategies, successful strategies from businesses, business principles, business practices to approach our relationship. And so basically having a strategic plan for your relationship. So that's what I envision as a relationship strategist.
Which is genius, right? Because marriage is a contract. It is a working relationship. And I'm going to emphasize working. Working relationship. And with everything, you know, a blueprint is important to make sure that we stay online. I mean, we use this stuff for our businesses. We use a strategist for losing weight. We have all these blueprints and plans to get our goals set. Why have we not heard of this before?
You know, that's true. I don't know. And that's a good question because you think about it. I always kind of talk about, you know, successful teams have a game plan, right? Successful businesses have a floor plan. You know, to your point, you know, successful weight loss, you know, strategies have a weight loss, a trainer, somebody who's a coach, who's coaching them, right? But when we come to relationships, we just think, oh, what do we have? Love. No, that's not going to get it. So you got to have more than just love to like have a successful long-term sustainable relationship. You can have a little small band-aid of a relationship to get you through, you know, with some quote unquote love. But on the difficult days, you got to have more than just love. And, you know, and a lot of people say keep God first in your marriage, but what does that mean? Like, I need application. I need, like, walk me through step by step. What does that look like on the days when I'm ready to walk out this door and be done? You know, like, I need, like, tell me step one, that looks like this. Step two, then you do this. Step three, because keep God first, or, you know, keep love first. What does that mean when I'm ready to, you know, I don't want to say choke somebody out, but, you know.
Listen, no, tell the truth. We're going to tell nothing but the truth. Keep God first, meaning somebody for some meet God real soon. Could be. You know what I'm saying? Keep God first. Tell him I said hello, right? Because sometimes the days are just so it's so difficult. Like I think Tina Turner said it best. What love got to do with it? What's the love got to do? Because it is, it's a thin line between love and hate. And when you don't have that blueprint, which I don't know who does, like we don't. I'm gonna be honest, we do not have a blueprint for marriage. But for all the people out there, you got a book, right? And your book is, I'm so excited. It's called Marriage Business.
Yes.
Y'all, we all need to let's talk about the marriage business. Talk about your book, babe.
Yeah, so the marriage business is basically from proposal to prosperity. Have how to have a successful marriage by using Fortune 500 principles, right? So how to build a dynasty by using Fortune 500 principles. And basically, readers can expect to receive real life examples of couples who have used core business principles and practices to win in their marriage. So couples will learn how to problem solve with data and analytics versus emotion and anger. Additionally, we help couples in the book manage their relationship from a strategic planning perspective, inclusive of core values, vision, and mission alignment. So we want to make sure that just like a successful business, they have core values, they have a vision, a mission, they have, kind of these strategic planning meetings, they have performance goals, they have performance appraisals for their employees so they can give feedback and help people understand where you need to recalibrate. Well, basically, the book is doing the same things, but in your marriage. Like, where do you need to recalibrate? What's going well? What's not working well? We have meetings weekly, monthly. We have these core meetings where we talk about, like, are you meeting these annual goals that we talked about in our marriage, in our business? So for me, in a marriage or any relationship, really, you're either a helpmate or you're dead weight. And so a helpmate is someone pushing you, inspiring you, motivating you, helping you, get to, where you want to be in life, what you want to accomplish. Dead weight is kind of like I'm pulling you along like you a piece of luggage, trying to help you see the vision here. And that's really not healthy for a relationship, whether you're married or not. And so really the book is about helping you motivate each other, inspire each other to, at the end of the day, fulfill your legacy, fulfill the legacy that you are here on earth to achieve.
I love it, girl. You hit me with that helpmate or dead weight. That's like hante, because the importance of a healthy marriage or relationship goes beyond just that I love you and we happy. Can you tell us a little bit more why it's important? Like, I know that sounds weird, but listen, guys, when you do not have a healthy marriage, it affects so many things. So, Bonika, can you talk to him a little bit about the importance of a healthy marriage or a relationship?
Absolutely. So let me just tell you a little bit about my background, which will help you get to understand how I got to this book. So I have been a chief equity and inclusion officer for several years. And before that, and still I work with businesses in my my business. I work with businesses in a consulting practice. So we help businesses with their strategic plan. And in my equity work, we help communities, right, build safer communities. We close economic gaps and education gaps. So in my work as a chief equity and inclusion officer, right? And what I realized, Elizabeth, is that in my DEI work in communities, I realized we're dealing with broken people. Like, we have to begin in the home. So in attempting to heal problems in our communities, I was finding broken people. And I said, you know what, if we want to solve for safer communities, close economic, education, and equity gaps, we really have to begin solving for healthier families and healthier homes. And so one path to creating healthy homes is by creating healthy relationships in the home. And that's why my focus really has shifted to relationships, because I realized healthy relationships lead to healthy communities. And you said that's important, but it's even more important than we think, because we have broken communities. You look at our mental health crisis, you look at mass shootings and these folks who are suicidal, and not only suicidal but killing other people. You look at all of the breakdowns, crime is increasing,
Right.
you know, all of these, because people don't have money, because they can't feed their family, because we don't have access to health insurance. All of these things thrive in our community, but if you don't go to homes and start healing for this in home, we can't even have a discussion about healthier communities. We can't talk about, you know, because people think policing and, you know, that's going to create safer communities. No, that's not going to create safer communities. We got to start by having healthy children and healthy families. And those discussions cannot start in the communities or in the streets. They have to really start in the home and having healthier relationships. So you start with a healthy husband and wife, or a healthy couple who's pouring into each other, and you start having healthier children. But if I come into work and I'm broken, then I'm not going to be my best optimal self. If I came to work and I've already had an argument with my spouse or my significant other, then how am I going to perform at the optimal level at work or in my community, or solving if I'm a police officer or if I'm a school teacher? So you have to heal all the classroom, the boardroom, by healing the home, by healing these relationships.
Bam. That's what I'm talking about. Again, we say important, but how important? Girl, you just hit on a lot. And I hope y'all got it. I hope y'all got it. If you really didn't catch all that, just rewind and listen to it again. Because what she is telling us all, if we as a couple are not working together, being healthy and pouring into each other, and we trying to run communities and trying to do all that, and we broken, man. And what's crazy is it happens every day. And a lot of times dysfunction in relationship is passed down from what they have seen and what they think is normal, because nobody has really taught you, you know, girls get the fairy tale from TV, right? Our prince, and he's gonna come and rescue us, and life is gonna be, you know, it always ends with the end. They ride off happily ever after, but they don't show what they looking like day to day. We don't we don't know what that looked like on a day-to-day basis if we did not have it in our home. So it's crazy when you say, point out the components in which healthy marriage is so important in everything. So can you give us some advice on trying to navigate challenges in our marriage and maintain a healthy bond? Can you give us like 3 tips, 3 things we could do?
3 things you can do to have a healthy relationship?
Yeah. And
Sure.
have a, you know, that healthy bond that, you know, oh, I love you, boo. You know, them kind of things. We need your help.
Yeah, I guess I would say a few things. One is, you talked about it, Elizabeth, with talking about dysfunction. Oftentimes we come from dysfunctional families, dysfunctional relationships, and we try to apply those same practices in our household, like if they're going to work. Like, I'm looking at how my mom and dad saw for relationship issues through poor communication, very dysfunctional communication. And then I try to bring that in my marriage. Said, we're going to do this. And my mom was known for slamming the door and walking away. Like, I'm slamming the door, I don't have nothing to say. And I thought, well, I saw that did not work in her relationship, but then I quick to slam a door and I'm not talking to you. Like, that's dysfunctional. So one of us solve for the dysfunction. Like, you have to deal with the past. If you're going to have a healthy relationship, one, I would say deal with the past, deal with your past dysfunction, both the man and the woman, or, you know, both people, and don't bring that dysfunction in a relationship and think that it's going to work differently. It didn't work and when you saw it before, it didn't work in past relationships. And we continue to bring trauma and dysfunction from either past relationships or from our household experiences into our in our relationships and think that it's going to work. It's not going to work. So one, I would say heal from past trauma, right? Two, I would say have a healthy communication pattern. What I mean by that is set realistic expectations, one, and communicate them. Like oftentimes I'm slamming my husband for like, you know what? This is what a good husband does. X, Y, and Z. In my mind, this is what I'm saying. And I'm like waiting for him to come home and do X, Y, and Z. And I'm looking like, you don't do X, Y, and Z. You are not performing to the expectation of a good husband. But have I ever communicated to him those expectations? Or did I just see in my mind, to your point, we watch these shows, we think, oh, that's what the princess had in the, when I was growing up. And I think that that's what men know they're supposed to do, or my husband is supposed to do. I never said to him, what I expect from a good husband is this, this, and this. This is what I think a good husband looks like. Are you able to perform these expectations and these duties? If not, let's have a discussion about that. But it's not even fair for me to have expectations that I never communicated. So I would say two is healthy communication, and more importantly, communicate expectations that you have in the marriage and find a compromise. If you can't get exactly what those expectations are, can my spouse at least commit to, let's a compromise? So that would be the second thing. So one is healing from past trauma. Two is having healthy communications. And three, I would say for those navigating challenges or just trying to have a healthy relationship is to have a stakeholder engagement group. Going back to my book, Marriage Business, we approach a lot of things in the marriage as a business. And one thing successful businesses have is a healthy stakeholder group. And in the book, I talk about this stakeholder group being three different groups. One is a board of advisors, right? Again, we're approaching these from business concepts, a board of advisors. Your advisor group is those who advise, right? You may not even know these advisors, right? Or a board of directors. Those are people who direct. So your board of advisors and your board of directors, you don't even have to know. It may be somebody that you listen to on a podcast. It may be Michelle and Barack Obama, and you just map things out based on what they say. It may be your pastor, and you may or may not know him directly. But it could be that they advise and or direct you, right? The third group of that is your board of trustees. And your trustees are those who you can trust to give you confidential counsel. Your board of trustees is a smaller, intimate group. And you, in fact, do know your board of trustees because they can give you counsel and advice. And they can say, girl, you was wrong for that. You were wrong. Or, man, you cannot do X, Y, and Z in your household and think that that's going to go over well with your wife. Those are people that it could be your pastor. It could be like a really good couple. It could be your counselor who kind of helps you and gives you trusted advice. So those are the three things I would say. One, heal from past trauma. Two is have healthy communication and communicate your expectations. And three, I would say have a great stakeholder engagement group that is inclusive of a board of advisors, a board of directors, and a board of trustees.
Wow. Wait. Wow. Wait. We need a stockholder meeting. I just want to do it because but what I love about this too, listening to you, this I think would resonate much more with my husband, because he's all business based and he says I'm emotionally based, right? You're so emotional. But if I say no, we need a stockholders meeting, he's like, a stockholder, what are you doing? Right? He would pay attention to those words. That's words that he respects. That's words that he like, oh, okay, versus me like getting upset. And then I was like, you hurt my feelings. He's like, oh, he already rolling his eyes. You hurt your feelings? Like, and I'm like, yes, you hurt my feelings because, right? But I think if I would have said, listen, I think we should have a
stakeholder meeting.
A stakeholder meeting, yes. He'd be like, oh, okay. Like, I think he would approach it a whole different way. So this is so encouraging to hear, because I think that men, especially the men I know, will be so much more willing, because they think, feelings and emotional, that's we Wonka stuff that you all come on now. You don't want to talk, I don't want to talk about my feelings or anything like that. But to put it in a business setting, it is absolutely genius. I love that so much.
Thank you. Let me tell you, this book, Elizabeth, came out of 23 years of, you already said it. You know how marriage is, okay? It is, peaks and valleys. Some days
It's
a lot more valleys than peaks some days.
Look, it's a word. And nobody tell you that. Nobody
tell you that. What you're like, I didn't sign up for this. And I will tell you, so I was reading, I'm a reader and I'm a problem solver. I'm a fixer. That's what I do for work for 20 something years. I've been fixing problems, right? I'm the Pope. What's his name? But
Olivia Pope.
I'm Olivia Pope for business. That's what I've been doing for all of my business career. I was a commercial banker before I started a consulting firm, and then the chief equity inclusion. I've been solving problems. And then it was like, I was reading books, all these marriage books. Cause I'm like, this marriage stuff cannot be this difficult. It cannot. And to your point, all the books that I read, and I'm like, okay, honey, let's read this book. And my husband's like, I'm not interested in it. And my husband's an executive, for a bank. He's like, I'm not interested in that. To your point, they're all very emotional based and love and this and
relation
and fluffy, and that's wonderful. But my husband is tangible. Like, what's the concrete? What's the results? What's the impact? How's it gonna make money? Too. Like, give me. Yes. He's very result driven. Right. He didn't want that, and so I was like, these books. Like, first of all, none of them really, to me, I felt like could appeal to a husband and wife, a man and a woman. Like, I felt a lot of them were just geared to the woman, and a woman cannot solve the problem of the relationship by herself in isolation. We need a partner to solve with us, right? And so this book really is about these concrete principles. They're tangible. It's not a lot of emotion, a lot of fluff. It's realistic. Like, look, we on this journey and we trying to make this, and this. We trying to leave a dynasty. Okay. Dynasty, and let me talk a little bit about this quickly. Legacy and dynasty. I talk about this in the book. A legacy is, I can pass on wealth to my children. You can pass a legacy without being in a marriage that is sustainable, right? So if I divorce, I can still give my children a legacy. I can still give them financial, wealth. What I cannot give them if I divorce is a dynasty. A dynasty is different. You remember the dynasty that back in the day, because we older, we know about these.
Yes, girl, yes.
But dynasty was a whole empire. It was, I'm passing my culture down. I'm passing our traditions down. The way we do Thanksgiving dinner, all our cultures and values and norms and how we think as a family, how we make decisions, who we give, who are the organizations we give to from a philanthropy standpoint. That is a dynasty, and you can't pass that down if you divorce. You can give a legacy all day long, but what we're building is dynasty. We're building this thing that's going to outlast the money, It's about how we do things as a family, what is important to us, what's critical, how do you pass that to your children? You can't pass the dynasty if you divorce. You can pass a legacy, but me and my husband are like, we passing more than wealth. Our kids gonna be all right financially. But we got to get them more than that. We got to help them learn how to make solid decisions. We got to help them understand how to deal with what's going on in our country for our people. We got to help them understand, like, how we going to outlive some of this stuff, right? And it's more than just passing on money. It's about how our family thinks, how we make decisions, how we live, breathe, how we celebrate traditions, how we honor our ancestors before us. It's all of that. And, like, our kids are missing that because they're coming from these broken homes,
That is facts. And what's crazy about that is, first of all, how can we get your book?
I'm glad you asked. So my book will be on Amazon at the end of October. And if people follow me on the Business with B at Instagram, you'll be first to know about when it's coming and how you can purchase it before it's even on Amazon. So just follow me on the Business with B at Instagram. I'm going to be doing some giveaways next month. Before the book even comes out, I'm going to be giving it away. So please follow me.
Okay. And Instagram is Business with B.
The Business with B. Mm-hmm.
The Business with B. I love it. Listen, I have really learned so much. I mean, I am blown away with the stance that you're taking on marriage. And I think I know it is so needed, because even when you say, I love that first tip of letting go of that brokenness, that heart and pain, the dealing with the past, and don't bring the trauma in. The scary part about that is a lot of times we think our trauma is normal because we've seen it a lot.
So true.
It's like, no, it's normal. That I slam the doors, and I will slam a door. My husband hangs pictures and say they Elizabeth proof now, because I'm a door slam. I that door and we laugh. It's a joke now, because in the beginning, now I don't slam door, but it's still so funny because he would hang stuff and he going, all right, that's Elizabeth proof.
I love it. This picture ain't falling off when she acting crazy.
When she acting up, like, don't make me act crazy then. How about that? Listen, since you are taking care of everybody, I want to ask this. We on Miss Fit One, and it's all about living fit. And that is my fit formula. Focus plus intentional equals transformation. And I love how you doing that with your books, and how you just go in and really get to the point. How do you do that for yourself? How do you take your self-care? What does your self-care look like?
Oh, good question, Miss Elizabeth. I like that, Miss Fit One. Well, from one door slammer to another door slammer. I will say I am very intentional about self-care. So one thing I do is I have a monthly spa day, and it's during the work week when I drop my kids off. I spend one day. I used to just do like once a quarter, and that I found that was not enough for me. So I do one day a month. I do a spa day, and the whole thing, the massage. I stay all day, like it's the whole day for me. Like I'm going to work. So that's one thing I do. I work out, and because I am almost 50, as we talked about before, and what I noticed is that my metabolism went out the door. Like after I got over 45, I mean, I could drive past Krispy Kreme and just inhale the smell and gain 3 pounds. So I'm like, okay, this is not a good thing. I mean, I didn't eat the Krispy Kreme. I just
right. At least let me enjoy it. Yeah, I want to enjoy my
now 3 pounds right there. I'm like, oh no. So now I'm rigid. Like I am very disciplined, but about my routine. So I'm going to the gym 3 days a week. I do 2 HIIT classes at home a week. So I'm working out probably 5 days a week at least. And it's just not because, I just want to be so sexy. It's because mentally, like if I do not work out, I don't feel good. And my butt shows it too. Like my little cellulite on the back of it reminds me, oh, you missed a workout this week. I mean, one workout. So I'm really rigid about my routine. And I will say this too. The other thing with the marriage business is that's a part of the book too. Like when you talk about holding each other accountable, like I have to tell my husband, okay, honey, you didn't have one too many oatmeal cookies this week. Okay. You got to get on, you got to work out, and so we hold each other accountable, not only in trying to, adhere to this winning in the corporate arena or with our children and our community. We trying to win healthy wise. Cause you know what, I'm telling you, being healthy is more important than being happy, because you can be happy in a hospital bed because you did not have discipline. You ate all the things you were not supposed to eat and did all the things that you were not, and you never worked out, and you was happy all along the way. And now you in the hospital and you're not healthy. So for me, like marriage business is about being healthy first. We got to have a healthy marriage before we can have a happy marriage.
Well, I always say health is your wealth, period. It is. Mm-hmm. It really is. And so before we wrap it up, you want to leave the listeners with some words of wisdom?
Oh, sure. I think for me, if I left you guys with anything, for me, this book is for many generations. We have heard just advice at our weddings, at the toast. Keep God first, love her, happy wife is a happy life, all those things. And at the end of the day, when you're in the thick of the relationship, those things do not equate to what does that mean? Like, what does a healthy blueprint look like, and what can I pass down to my children? For me, this book is not, originally it was about like, I just want to win in my marriage. Like, I just want us to be healthy, right? I want us to win. Then it became, I want this for my children. Like, I had dysfunction in my family. My mother and father were divorced. They did not, do well. They did not last. And she probably did the right thing divorcing my dad, actually. But then it became, I want this for my kids. Like, I want to give them, I don't want them to see dysfunction. I don't want them to think closing, slamming doors and walking away is healthy communication style. Then it became, I want to heal this marriage and have a good marriage and happy, healthy marriage for my community, for other people. And now it's, if I just save one other marriage, then God, you used me. I'm good. So for me, this book is about having a blueprint that you can pass down to other people, to not just say at the wedding, keep God first and happy wife, happy life. This is like, no, this is real practice and principle, tried principles. We have 23 years later. I'm trying to keep you guys from the scars. This is about, look, I want to give you real tangible advice that you can say, 1, we did this, 2, we did this, 3, we did this. And when you finish the book, you walk away from with a strategic plan for your own marriage. The book is a workbook. So you do a lot of work in the book. So it's a lot of questions, a lot of answers. You do a lot of work. You have to do it together. You walk away with your blueprint, not my blueprint, because what works for me may not work for you. With yours, you and your husband walk away with, y'all answer these questions. Y'all ask the hard, tough questions. You guys did the tough work. You walk away with your blueprint. You got your strategic plan, and here we got a plan now for our marriage that we can also share with our children.
I am in awe of you. I really am. You guys, make sure you follow her. The Business Would Be on IG, right? And get the book. Make sure you follow her, because I know I'm getting my copy, because I need some help. You hear what I'm saying? Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Miss Fit One. This was amazing. I enjoyed you.
Thank you. Hey guys, this is your girl, Elizabeth Colin, and this week I want you to live fit. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Miss Fit One Lifestyles. Listen, when you are fed up and sick and tired of living this stifled, overwhelmed, and overstressed life, and you're ready to live the fullest, richest, and healthiest life by gaining more confidence, more energy, and more clarity, living in your best self, you know what to do, right? Go ahead, go to my website, misfit1.com. Sign up for our online courses, Creating Healthy Habit, so that you too can live fit, focus, move with intention, and transform your life.